Hi there and welcome back to my White Christmas tutorial series. The project number 19th is going to be yet another snow globe shaker card, and this one is going to be a bit more advanced and complicated. In no way does it mean that you cannot do it. It only means that it's going to require a bit more time and effort. Besides, the creative process is divided into steps, and each individual step is rather simple and totally manageable. So let's get started. To begin with, I will need a 5x7 card base side folding, and I will also need a panel that is 4x7 inches, and it fits on top of the card just like that. The cardstock I'm using is Nina Classic Crest 110 pounds. And this is crushed metal specialty paper by Tonic Studios, and I'm going to cut a strip out of it that is 1.5 inches by 7 inches. Then I'm going to stick down the strip of paper onto the bottom of my card. I'm kind of starting from the end this time, and I'm going to create the sentiment first and then the rest of the card. To make a sentiment, I'll be using the dies by Birch press design that are called Sugar Script Merry Christmas. So I've die cut each element 3 times, and then I'm layering 2 plain die cuts and putting the silver mirror cardstock one on top. Then I'm positioning the panel on top of my card, securing it with a tape just temporarily. It's just to define where exactly my sentiment should go. Then I'm using some liquid adhesive to stick it down. This die set is Snow Globe Bases by Memory Box. I have already used the largest and the smallest dies earlier in this series, and now I'm going to use the 2 mid-size ones. So I'm positioning the larger snow globe base in the center of my card, and then I have chosen the matching circle die to work with it. This circle die is 2 3/4 in diameter. Then I'm positioning the snow globe bases again to define the position of the second snow globe. So here, when I have the circle placed, I'm taping it down, and then I'm sending it through the machine again, just like I did before. For the third snow globe, I'm just positioning the circle die symmetrically at the other side, and here I have created all 3 openings. I'm keeping all 3 circle cutouts because I will need them later. Now I'm going to use Hickory Smoke Distress ink to go all around the edges of my panel. I like to place a piece of paper underneath instead of using a craft mat, because the porous surface takes up the excess ink and it really helps to avoid those harsh lines and marks. Then I'll be using the same ink, Hickory Smoke, to go around the edges of each circle die cut. This is going to help me to create the glass globe effect later on. Next, I'm actually going to place all the circles back into the panel, so I'm attaching them at the wrong side with the pieces of washi tape. Then I'm inking up one side of the brick embossing folder with iced spruce distress oxide ink. Then I'm going to wipe off the ink from the edge of the embossing folder because I don't want that vertical line on my project. This is how the panel looks like at the moment, and next I'm going to expand this pattern. So I'm inking up the folder again, then taking away the excess ink from the one side. Then I'm going to place it back into the folder and run it through the die cutting machine. And here I have the entire panel embossed. This way I have all the circles toned at the edges, but I also have the continuous brick pattern throughout the panel. So now I am removing the circles, and I'm going to keep on working on my project. So I'm attaching this panel to the card, again temporarily, and I'm going to use it as a guide to stick down all 3 circles onto the card base. I'm using the tape runner as an adhesive, and then I can remove the panel. As always, the tools and supplies I'm using will be listed on my blog and in the description. To turn this panel into a shaker card, I'm going to apply some adhesive at the wrong side and stick down a piece of acetate. At this point, I have noticed that I haven't created any kind of ground and my snow globes are going to float in midair. So I'm going to mask off about 1/3 of the panel, and I'm going to apply black soot distress ink at the bottom part. Then I'm removing the masks, and now I have a kind of table surface for my snow globes to sit upon. I have die cut and embossed the snow globe bases out of specialty cardstock. This one is called Silver Silk. It's by Tonic Studios. Then I'm attaching all 3 of them on top of the card with the mounting tape. I would also like to show you one little trick as for how to make those snow globes a bit more realistic. So I've die cut all the snow globe bases again out of white cardstock, and now I'm attaching each of them upside down behind the window like that. And it's going to create the inner surface of the snow globe. Then I'm going to use silver metallic rub-on paint to go around the table surface. This is going to reveal the brick texture more and give some extra shine. For more intricate areas, I'm going over this bricks with a brush. The next step is creating the scene inside the globe, and I'll be using some poppy stamps dies. I've die cut the evergreen landscape out of white cardstock, and I have also die cut the cabin out of black. As I'm going to create a background for the cabin, I have applied some liquid adhesive and I'm sticking it down on top of a scrap piece of cardstock. Then I'm cutting it out with the scissors. This background is going to allow me to inlay the windows and doors, but before I do it, I'm going to rub on some metallic paint onto the cabin, and this is going to reveal the wood plank texture. I have the same cabin image cut out of silver mirror cardstock, and now I'm applying some glue onto the windows and doors. Then I'm placing the silver die cut on top, and I'm pushing down the window and door areas to make them stick to the background. It's a very simple way to do the inlaid die cutting. Then I'm attaching the roof that is die cut out of white cardstock, and my cabin is finished. To attach it to the snow globe, I'm applying some glue only to the bottom of the die cut, and then I'm sticking it down right in between the bases, behind the acetate. I think that sticking the die cuts behind the acetate makes snow globes more realistic. To finish off the scene, I clipped apart a couple of trees from the large die cut, and I'm attaching them at the back of the cabin. I have even decided to add one more. Then I will be adding a couple of trees to each of the small snow globes. This way each snow globe has its own little scene inside, but when put together they also create one continuous image. Then I have applied a double layer of mounting tape onto the panel, and now I'm going to add the sequins. Instead of adding the sequins to the panel, I'm placing them onto the background right in the middle of each circle. This way the panel will be much easier to align. I'm combining 3 sequin mixes by cat scrappiness. I started with the white snowflakes, then I have added silver stars and also some black flowers. And now I'm placing the panel on top of the background, aligning it really well. And here are my shaker elements finished. All there is left to do now is to add some finishing touches. So I've die cut some pine branches by poppy stamps out of black and white cardstock. I'm starting by sticking down the large black branches at the top part of the card front. I'm also using smaller pine needle die cuts to make one of the branches bigger. Then I'm also going to add more branches at the bottom part of the card. I'll be using both black and white die cuts to create a cluster by the large snow globe. For more texture and shine, I'm going to use some silver jewels, also by cat scrappiness, and I'm using glossy accents as an adhesive. So I'm attaching different size jewels onto the snow globe bases. I'm placing the larger one in the middle and then I'm moving on to the smallest ones. The pearls will stand for holly berries and I'm attaching them to the pine needle cluster. Then I'm also adding tiny jewels to the pine boughs to make them sparkle as if they are frosted. That finishes my project for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be back soon with a project number 20 and I hope to see you back. Bye bye!